Welcome back, everybody. This is John with Glass Beast Games, and you're watching Fallout. Just kidding. This is Factorio, but you know, there's a lot of nukes going off in the background. Last episode, I had gotten interplanetary logistics and some artillery. That seemed to work pretty well. I am clearing out the area that I had said I was going to clear out last episode and maybe the episode before. I wanted to be able to expand my base down here eventually. I didn't get to do that now. One thing I did get to do is explore circuitry in the circuit network and using arithmetic combinators and selector combinators. Not only that, but I decided to go ahead and go with really good train scheduling. And by really good, I mean not good at all, and I had no idea how to schedule any sort of trains and was scratching my head for hours. The idea is that the train scheduling with Factorio 2.0 Space Age is that you have train interrupts, which are very useful if you know how to use them. I do not. This is going to be a fun episode. One of the first orders of business that I decided to do is go ahead and get rid of this abomination that I call my mall. I decided to get rid of everything except for the chest because everything in the chest would take forever to transport. I might as well just do it myself. But that is the beauty of having 200 bots and worker robot speed 10. I decided that in lieu of having my trains coming over to this section to drop off very copious amounts of molten metal, that they decided to go ahead and make some steel and some iron gear wheels, and they did that very quickly. As you can see right here, I'm standing here with 3 decider combinators, and these decider combinators are very much like conditional statements, and they're applying a output signal to this lamp here, and this is a singular lamp. You actually do not have to have multiple lamps. You can change the color of this lamp depending on the different conditions that you set. So I have one set for if it's below 10,000 molten metal out of 25,000 available space in any of these given storage tanks, it'll give a red output signal, so the lamp will turn red. And the same for a yellow output signal if it's between 20,000 and 10,000. Now if it's 20,000 or above, then it's green, meaning it's pretty much full, you're good, you're not getting low on it. And I don't have one for empty, but I imagine I could always do that. But for right now, it's just going to be red. I did that with both my molten iron and my molten copper. And the whole idea with that was I wanted to be able to have some sort of indicator without having to hover over anything, any chest, to see what it was filled with. Just a general idea. And I'm going to do the same thing later on, but I don't have too much on that. It's just the plastic. I then chose to experiment a little bit with the decider combinators because they can be used in MAMs or make anything machines. That is, as I've looked them up, they're kind of complicated, but they're really not. At least a very basic level of them, you can have multiple decider combinators choose what you want to make, and you can hook them up to your input and output and your assembling machine to determine whether you need to make it, set the recipe. This is essentially how you're going to change your recipe throughout without having to actually manually do it yourself. You can manually change the recipe yourself like I've been doing, or you can have a machine do it. Once you reach a certain amount of products that come from the assembling machine, you can turn that recipe off and you can turn another recipe on if need be. If they're all made, then you don't have to do anything. But this will actually be a really good way of being able to have your output chest not get filled with one item and not have to limit the output chest as well. Maybe you want to increase the amount, but you increase them through the decider combinators instead of blocking the open slots in the output chest. But that's just one use case of it. I'm not very good at it, but I got the basics of it down, so it really made me wish I had looked into this earlier because I feel like it could help me a little bit with organizing, especially when it comes to using robots. I feel like that would have helped quite a bit. So one of the main projects I got done this episode that I'm pretty happy with is I got a sub-factory that is going to essentially be the design philosophy for the mega bases. So I'm going to have little sub-factories for each individual item that I really need an abundance of. Hence the science pack. So this is going to be our first science pack that we ever had to do, our automation science pack. Instead of just making iron gear wheels and assembling machines, you get that 50% productivity bonus just right off the bat. Once you start applying productivity modules, you get even better. But overall, I ended up making this design using a new idea of a city block, which is not really a new idea, but it's a new idea that I've introduced into this series that I have definitely taken from a very well-known content creator for Factorio, Neelos. He does a very good job at giving the idea, hey, let's have a city block and organize everything. I tried to do it a little bit with the power grid, but the problem with the power grid is I didn't have any signifiers such as concrete. I think the substations are good trade-off because while they don't go as far as the large electrical poles, they do cover a good amount of area. The setup produced quite a bit of red science, but not nearly as much because it was unoptimized because I'd run into bottlenecks. But with that being said, still was pretty good, way better than before. Let's go ahead and get back to the actual commentary because I did end up getting to record some. Oh man, this whole episode has been me trying to figure out circuits and train signals and stops and train scheduling using interrupts, which is something that's new to 2.0 Space Age, and to be fair, it's pretty useful. The only thing is that I've been overcomplicating it. So I have a regular train depot over here. No trains are over here. We have all the trains ready to dispense here. But the problem right now is that there's nothing going on. Now we do have a train that is absolutely confused, and it's confused because its schedule is not updated. So we're going to take that schedule and add it to here. So this train is going to go to our train depot, our liquid train depot. As you can see, I now have a liquid train depot just off down here. And it's not really big enough. I could always send it to the yard. I could expand the yard if I need to. And that way I just have more slots available. And as you can see, this guy is empty. And they're not going to be going anywhere because obviously all the spots have been taken up, including these up here. What I have going on up here is I have this schedule just looking at the green signal. So yes, I could just say however many train counts and set it there. Really, it's not that big of a deal because now I think about it, I could just say, okay, read the train count and then read the train limit. I could just set a train limit of 1. Now, if I had other spots available over here where they could wait, sure, I could have maybe 2. I don't think I really need that to be the case, but I mean, if you think about it, when it transfers all the material here, I don't think it gets depleted as quickly as it takes another train to get over here. So because of that, it should be fine. But if I look at it in the future and there's some dead time, then I'll change that. I do have all red science ready for when a train's going to pick it up, but I'm going to have that ready next episode. I went ahead and decided my starter base is cool and all, but it is a starter base and it's an eyesore because there's a lot of stuff that is just like, okay, this could be made in bulk elsewhere instead of made kind of all compact right here. What I'm going to do is make sure that I have the city block design that I've taken from Nelos and basically just apply it everywhere I can. That'll be something you'll just see kind of evolve throughout the episodes. I don't think I'm going to just show a whole evolution factor. We have no trains at this stop, so I need to add an interrupt for trains to come here if they're empty. Now, if they're not empty, then they can just say here at the train depot. We have 1, 2 trains that are empty. We have an interrupt system, and I could go all based off of interrupt. I could set these trains to specifically collect copper or to specifically collect iron. Or I could have them do it in variables. So if there's more trains at the iron weight than there are at the copper weight, which they're equal right now, at that point, just pick a random number. They're all equal. There's going to be some variables involved. I will come up with a train interrupt. I will do that in between episodes so y'all don't have to see me fumble around anymore. I think I'm happy with what I got in this episode. I got my first substation for 1 item, and that 1 item is going to be my red science. And as you can see earlier, if we go to our production, 2,400 a minute. That is going to be 40 a second. With that being said, I hope y'all have enjoyed this episode. Maybe not. If you didn't enjoy it, that's fine. Leave a dislike or like it if you did. Next episode, I believe what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be trying to address what to do with this area because I want this area to actually still be something. I think it may just be a research drop-off. And then maybe what I could do is a research drop-off and perhaps I'll change this. I mean, this is also, it's all out of power. But research drop-off and maybe my rocket production, like rocket parts production, and my launch site could be over here. Probably a little bit looking better than this. I mean, this, I mean, it's 10 rockets. It looks cool, but it's just all over the place. So, with that being said, I hope y'all have a great day. This is John, signing out.